And joining me now, attorney for President Trump and former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani. Thanks so much, Mr. Mayor, for being on Justice.
Judge, always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. I want to get to some of the confusion regarding what happened over the last couple of days. But first, I would like to get your reaction to my opening statement, specifically these special prosecutors refusing to hand over the authority for their expanded investigation. What say you?
Well, we've not been able to get that from them either. And, of course, they developed that whole Cohen investigation and gave it away. And I think the judge was rightfully confused about why did they give away Cohen but not Manafort. So, I don't know, maybe they think Manafort's somebody they can flip faster. The fact is, this all plays into what my client, the President of the United States, has been saying for quite some time. The judge, in sum and substance, said this is a witch hunt with a tremendous amount of government misconduct attached to it. And you're quite correct. Attorney General Sessions should step up and dismiss this entire investigation.
Well, you know, but what we've got is an attorney general who doesn't seem to be able to step up to much, but that's my opinion, and I'm not even going to ask you at this point what you think. My concern is when these prosecutors go before a federal judge in a federal district courthouse and basically say, we can't tell you, when the judge is the one who is deciding the propriety of that case and handling the case, where are we in terms of justice in this country and the power of the courts over unfettered power of these special counsel?
Well, it kind of gives the American people a glimpse of what we have to deal with day in and day out with the abuses, not so much of Bob Mueller, but of the people that work for him. I mean, they're way over the top. When you look at the questions they propound, what do you think? What do you feel? It's like, come on in and commit perjury. There is no evidence of collusion with the Russians. Gone. There's no evidence of obstruction of justice. Everything the president did, he has perfect authority to do under Article 2.
All right.
So they want him to do Martha Stewart for them. And I'm sorry, people, he's not going to do that.
Martha Stewart and Clemens. Lying. But before that, I'd like to talk about what happened this week. There's been a lot of discussion about what you said on this network regarding payments from Michael Cohen to Stormy Daniels, what the president knew or didn't know, what he paid or did not pay. Can you please clear this up for us?
Sure. The end result is real simple, and that's all we're interested in. The president of the United States did not in any way violate the campaign finance law. Every campaign finance expert, Republican and Democrat, will tell you that if it was for another purpose other than just campaigns, and even if it was for campaign purposes, if it was to save his family, to save embarrassment, it's not a campaign donation. And second, even if it was a campaign donation, the president reimbursed it fully with a payment of $35,000 a month that paid for that and other expenses. No need to go beyond that. Case over. That case should be dismissed by the Southern District of New York, at least with regard to President Trump.
Okay, so did you misspeak, or did people not interpret what you were saying? Were you talking about the facts, or were you talking about the law, Mr. Mayor?
I'm talking about the law and the conclusion. The facts. I'm still learning. This is 1.2 million documents. I've been in the case for 2 weeks. Virtually one day in comparison to other people. So I'm not an expert on the facts yet. I'm getting there. But I am an expert on the law, and particularly the campaign finance law. I've lived under it running for president. And the fact is, there is no way this is a campaign finance violation of any kind, nor was it a loan. It was an expenditure. And this expenditure would have been made whether he was running for president or he wasn't running for president, and we can show that from the history of these two gentlemen. And Mr. Cohen has probably been the worst treated, and Mr. Manafort, in this case. The raids on their house, Comey got really offended when I said it was stormtrooper tactics. I think the judge basically said that, maybe a little more eloquently than I did, but after all, I'm a litigator in there fighting for my client and some of the people around him.
You know, when we talk about what happened, as you described it as stormtroopers, I mean, going into someone's house at 5 in the morning, or, going into someone's hotel room, pulling a phone out of his hand, as they did with Michael Cohen. I mean, when you juxtapose that against the so-called investigation of Hillary Clinton, where she was basically given a warning, she deletes, she bleach bits,
Nice. Poor little Hillary. We got to be nice to her. We have to, no under oath.
Right.
We'll take that now. No under oath, no Q&A, just notes, FBI 302s.
Right.
And how about the report written by that phony Jim Comey before he even interviews her? What the hell was the interview for, Judge?
You know what? I'm going to ask you. You ran a prosecutor's office. I ran a prosecutor's office. but I mean, you're federal. I mean, you are renowned for what you did in the Southern District of New York,
and I hired district. I hired that clown.
I know you hired that, and I wish I had more time to talk about that. But you know, you and I both understand that there are certain things that are done and certain things that are not done. And when you decide that you're going to break into someone's home or you're going to invade the attorney-client privilege, there have to be extreme circumstances. This investigation went from Russia collusion to obstruction.
Gone.
The president, Article 2, makes it clear the president, okay, now who's chasing, you know, porn stars and stuff? I mean, why are we even going in this direction? And why are we not ending this? Because there is no evidence that's been unearthed, unless I'm missing something regarding any of that stuff.
You're not missing anything. We're not missing anything. We turned over the documents, after all, and I'm in the process of getting through about a third of them so far. There's no evidence of any of the things you're talking about. The only evidence there is, the only crimes committed here have been committed by the government, which is why the judge, Judge Ellis, is so outraged. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't dismiss this case the way the case of Senator Stevens was dismissed, unfortunately, after the man died.
Right, right. And that is part of the frustration we have here. But if, as the judge appears to be saying, like, give me the reason for the basis for your jurisdiction, how it is that you go into a grand jury and get an indictment. If there is no power that is connected to the 2016 election or the firing of James Comey, then how can they possibly have the authority to indict Manafort? Why wouldn't Ellis dismiss this indictment?
Now, I don't know since they won't share it with us either, or with the White House counsel's office, I don't know what their authority was. But the judge has every right to see it. After all, this was not statutory authority. A U.S. attorney like I was has the statutory authority to recommend an indictment.
Right.
So you've got to get it from Rosenstein. Well, they have a right to see it. And the judge also has a right to determine they went beyond that, even if Rosenstein attempted to give it to them. He also has a right to determine that by government misconduct, they have fatally tainted this case. And I believe in my heart that the Supreme Court will decide that. So I think Judge Ellis probably is tough enough and strong enough to decide that himself.
All right, Rudy Giuliani, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
And you got Victoria Tenzing. And she'll take you through the presidential immunity better than I can.
She certainly knows her stuff. Mr. Mayor, thank you, and counsel to the president. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, Congressman Ron DeSantis still on deck tonight. But next, I want to get more to the heart of the legal issues surrounding the Mueller investigation and the president. As the mayor said, Victoria Tenzing standing